everybody, and welcome back to the Savagenascar podcast, episode number 9. And today we got a very special guest. Now, we've had guests on the show that are YouTubers, NASCAR historians and memers, podcasters, diecast collectors, and now today, Jose Zarate. He runs the popular diecast series, Home Cup. Thank you for joining us today. How's it going?
Man, I'm doing great. What about yourself?
I am doing well. Thanks for asking. So, we got a lot of topics to get into, a lot of very interesting questions today. And before we get started, I want to ask a question I usually ask everyone on my show. How and when did you find your interest in the sport of NASCAR?
I got invited to this girl's birthday party in like 2005. I was in pre-K, and all I remember from the party is everyone was sitting around the living room and they were watching, NASCAR. I didn't know what it was at the time, but I don't know, something about it just fascinated me, and I don't know, I've been in like love with it ever since. It's like my passion.
Cool. So your favorite current drivers right now are Tyler Reddick and Daniel Suarez. Could you tell us why you're a fan of them and of retired 3-time champion Tony Stewart?
Well, I'm Mexican, so I mean, I'm kind of biased towards Daniel Suarez. I know he isn't the best driver out there, but he's out there. He's putting a good name for us out there. Tyler Reddick, I don't know. I just really like his driving style. I expect like big things out of him. I hope he gets a win or two this year. As for Tony Stewart, I've been a big fan of him since forever. I just liked his attitude on the track. He was always fun to root for, and I know a lot of people didn't feel that same way about him. But I've always liked Tony Stewart, no matter what.
I like those drivers too. Now, Tony Stewart, I'm kind of in the middle with. I didn't dislike him or like him like one of my favorite drivers. But another question I asked the guests that come on my show is, what is your favorite track?
That's a good question. I'm not really sure what my favorite track is. My first thing is Talladega, because that's the only track I've been to personally. But I'm a big fan of these road courses. For me, they provide some pretty entertaining races. I'm always like on my seat watching them. The short tracks are always great. Martinsville is my favorite of the two right now. I'm always indifferent about the intermediates. For some reason, I really like Chicagoland, but it sucks that it left or got cut out of the season. But I think if I had to go with one, it'd be Talladega.
Cool beans. So I like most of the tracks you mentioned. Chicagoland, not really a big fan of, but how about your favorite NASCAR race of all time? For those that don't know mine, you could go check out the previous episode, which I recorded with NASCAR Nick.
I really only have 3 favorite races when it comes to mine. It's I think the 2006 UAW race at Talladega, because that was the only race I've actually been to, where Vickers ended up spinning Johnson and Dale. But I think like of all time, it'd be either the 2009 All-Star race, because that race was just entertaining as I think of all time, it's definitely the 2011 Homestead race, because Tony Stewart drove the wheels off of it. I remember watching it at home. I was screaming for joy. I was watching him go 4 wide. It was just incredible for me. It left me speechless, and it solidified me as a fan of Tony Stewart, because I was always iffy on him towards his later years, but watching that race was just incredible to me.
Yeah, that Homestead race is definitely one of the best races of all time, and on my list, the number 1 moment at Homestead Miami Speedway. Now, let's change the subject now to the main topic, your diecast series. So, when did you become fascinated with diecast and diecast racing?
I think I started collecting diecast around the same time I started liking NASCAR. I saw them at Walmart, I think, one time, and I begged my dad to get me one. I don't remember what my first diecast was. That sucks. But, I was all on and off between, like, my middle school years and high school years. Now that I have, like, a full job now, I just learned that my passion is collecting diecasts. I just recently learned about diecast racing. I always used to play with them on the floor. I'm not gonna lie. Even, like, I do it now, but even as like a high school student, I did it like in secret. I was never too shy about it. People would make, jokes at me, but I didn't really care. It's just what I like to do. So that's how I feel about diecast and stuff like that.
I could definitely relate to most of what you said. I mean, even when I was like in middle school, I would play with cars on the floor, and I have a pretty big diecast collection myself, and I mean, there's definitely nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's very fun in my opinion. Now, I mean, I feel like even though like I've gotten older, I still have like a passion for diecast and like diecast racing, and I run the Superbird Cup series, and you run the Home Cup series. Now, let's talk about your series. So at the time of this recording, you have 1,041 followers, and when did you decide, or why did you decide to start the Home Cup series back in March 2020?
Because of the pandemic, especially, I had Instagram just for like personal stuff. But then I remembered that, I used to see these diecast leagues. I saw my collection and I was like, yo, I can do this no problem. And I feel like I can be really good at it. So, I mean, that's what ended up starting my page.
Nice. And your series is definitely one of the best, if not the best, in my opinion, in the diecast community from what I've seen. And it's definitely grown over the past year. You've definitely gotten more members, and I feel like your rule system is definitely pretty good. I will get more into that in a little bit. I've been in your series for a little bit, but for the people that are listening, could you tell us a little bit more about your series, like how many races there are each season and how many cars you have each race?
But my series, I try to make it as unbiased as I can. Recently, people have been saying that it's not, that it's pretty biased, but people like to hate on everything, so I don't really take mind to those comments. But I usually let the people in the races do what they want to do. Like if they want to go low, they tell me in the chat.
That's very similar to how I run mine, and with the bias thing, I've seen that happen in other series, not yours or mine, but I mean, it could also just be because some people might be sorry that they didn't win a race. But go ahead.
I try and make it to where they have fun.
Yep.
My series is just like the NASCAR regular series. We run 36 races, 26 regular season, 10 playoffs. Next season, I'm actually going to change that. We're just going to do a full Winston Cup style points format. Right now, we have 40 drivers per race. I'm going to see if I can do 43 because the calculator that I do to calc points doesn't go to 43, but I'm going to see what I can do about it.
Yeah, I feel like your races are definitely entertaining. I mean, they're not as long as like mine, for example. Mine's like full length. But I mean, I also heard this one rumor that there's going to be like 70 cars in a race, but I have no idea where that came from. That is definitely like a false rumor or something. But anyways, I'm not like trying to talk a whole lot about mine because my series isn't the subject and what we're talking about today. It's about your series, but I just want to point out with the point system with mine, it's basically what it was back in the time period that my cars are. So it's no playoffs and stuff like that. And my next question is, how do you make the tracks for your races? Now, most diecast tracks, for those that don't know, are on floors, including mine and Home Cups. But people add things, like tissue papers, wood, markers, stuff like that. So if you could tell the viewers how you do.
Funny thing about my series is that I don't technically have tracks. I've been racing on my floor for these past seasons, but I'm gonna definitely try and change that. I really hope I can get it done by this next season that I have coming up. I want to make these races pop a little more. I know people are getting tired of just looking at my floor the whole time. I've experimented with like other places around my house.
Same.
But I have a full-time job, so it's like hard for me to
Gotcha.
get home from work and just be like, hey, let me move these 40 cars to like a different part of my house, and then just stand there and move them around. It gets a little tiring sometimes, but I do it for the people that follow me. So gonna try and invest in some things, see what I can do, experiment a little bit. Let's see what happens.
Awesome stuff. And one of my main questions for you is, why do you post your races on your story but not like on your feed?
Yeah, I used to post my races on my feed. You can even look at them now. My first race was as a post, and it wasn't popping. Like it didn't get the reaction I hoped for. And once I moved to putting the races on the story, I guess a lot more people view them. I never felt like I got the same interaction from posting them on my actual page than on my story. So I mean, that's just how I do it. I know a lot of people do it differently, but I don't see the advantages of doing it on the feed or doing it on the story. There's pros and cons to both.
Definitely. Now, the next question is going to be kind of a tough one, but I feel like I wanted to bring this up because I was surprised by it, and a lot of people are wondering, like, why you decided to do it. But why do you decide to allow, like, banned people back into your series despite some of their past incidents and histories?
So not to like bash anybody that's currently in my series, I'm glad everyone's in it, but when I think about it, some of these guys are like kids to me because I'm older, so
Yeah, same.
uh you know yeah, you get people like that who are pretty notorious with the words that they use. They say some words I don't agree with. They have ideals I don't agree with, but then again, it's just
It's
it
just a diecast
you know
series.
these are just toy cars, let's be honest.
Yeah.
I do this as a hobby, and I really want to keep growing, and I feel like I made the long-term investment of growing my page more if I let some of these guys back in. I like giving people second chances, and obviously if these dudes cut up again, I'm not going to name anyone in particular. I'm definitely going to kick them out again, and I'm just trying to improve my following, and I'm pretty sure everyone tries to do that at some point.
True. I mean, I definitely get your point. Now, I do believe in second chances, but at the same time, the rules are rules. Like for my series, you have a certain amount of things, and there's things you can't say. You have a certain amount of like strikes, basically, and too many breaking the rules, you're out. And that's the way it is. We've both seen the good and the bad of the diecast community, and with instances and things that have happened in the past, it's the way it's basically caused me to make my series rules more strict because, we can't let people in that are going to be racist, people that are just going to be bullies and just toxic, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like the community has been improving as a whole. We've learned from things that have happened. We learned from what happened with the Napa Cup series and with others in the chats. We've learned from those things, and I feel like there's definitely been improvement. There hasn't been any major problems, and I hope it continues to be the same. And I mean, your series is definitely very entertaining. The chat definitely does go a little crazy during the races, but that's just the excitement, the entertainment, and fun in it. And that's one reason why I made mine was for entertainment, to have fun, and it's a way, you can make friends and, share your passion for the sport. So, moving on to next question. Was there any other series that you looked up to or took notes from to basically help create yours?
I mean, I want to say no because I wanted to be unique when it came to my series. Recently I started adding custom teams. I know a lot of people did that, but if I remember one in particular, the Napa series, I'm pretty sure that was the first series I remember when I first joined Instagram.
Same.
But that fell off a rock as soon as I started my page. As I asked some people how to run a series. I don't remember who, honestly. I wish I could credit them, but I had a bit of help. I didn't really look to any series in particular when making my series.
Do you run or have run any other NASCAR accounts?
Nah, just straight up Home Cup. This is the only account that I have on Instagram. I deleted my personal one. I see a lot of these guys with like edit channels. I'm not a big fan of edits. I think they're pretty cringy, to be honest. The meme channels, some of them aren't really funny. You know, like paint scheme pages, those are good. News pages, those are really good. But nah, just Home Cup for me. It's too much work as it is, so I just run the one.
And now the final topic of the episode, this weekend's races at Homestead Miami Speedway. First with the Xfinity Series. For me, I'm going to go with Justin Allgaier. He hasn't been in victory lane in a while. I like their team, and I really hope to see him get another win. I know it's kind of a risky pick, but I'm going to go with him. What about you?
When I do my picks, I just pick one person. I don't think it's too fair when people pick six people to win. I like to be, bullseye or not for me. But I think for both of these races, I'm going to go with the same person. For me, it's Tyler Reddick. I really think he has a shot of getting his first win in Cup. He dominated the races in the Xfinity Series. I don't think he won in one of them. I think Cole won, Custard. But yeah, those are my picks for this weekend. Both Tyler Reddick.
Interesting. I don't see Tyler Reddick winning this race, but I mean, I really hope to see him in victory lane sometime soon. And I feel like he could get it done on a restrictor plate track since he's done pretty well there in the past. So for Cup, I'm going to have to go with Joey Logano. He's been very consistent at Homestead. He's run really well there multiple times, but only win victory lane once. But I feel like he could get the job done. You know, he's really good at intermediate tracks and, you know, 1.5 mile, 2 mile tracks. So that's my pick. I don't think the race is going to be too exciting, but I'm sure we'll see a lot of great passing and 3-wide racing. Well, we've reached the end of the episode. Thank you for joining us again, Jose. Do you have any closing remarks?
No, I really don't have much to say. This is my first time doing anything like this. I think it was pretty cool. I'm glad you can have me on. Follow Home Cup.
Yes, you can follow Jose on Instagram at Home Cup. That's home_cup. The link is in the description below. Well, we've reached the checkered flag. Thank y'all very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.